එකේ ඇවිල්ලා අපර්ට්මන්ට් එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ. ගත්තොත් තමයි හරි මොකද එයාගේ රාජකාරියෙන්ද ගන්න යන කොහොමද පොඩ කතා කරලා බලන්න කොහොමද කියලා තමනවා ඉස්සරහට ඉස්සන යන්න.
Muslim Commercial Bank told me how BOC has started this bank of Sydney, right? How they have started Islamic banking, but it hasn't really gone into big scale. They've just started it apparently, so we have to call BOC and check on that.
After carrying out their research on the streets, Enterprise Alliance returns to the hotel. Munaza shares her insights of how Muslims handle their investments.
The rates depend on company to company and as well as the amount the customs would say.
Alright. Only thing is because majority of our customers from Tamil community, we selected a few Muslim customers.
So we wondered if we could run a couple of our ideas past you, because you probably have a better knowledge of your local customers and how they think.
But how are the Muslim customers here? Like, do they talk about wanting an interest or not wanting an interest? Do they ask anything regarding that?
There are some because as far as is concerned, there are two sets of customers. One is they are basically they ask for interest rate.
I was the team leader because of two reasons. One thing was because I was a Muslim and they felt that I would be more appropriate. Another thing was and I was Muslim and a Sri Lankan. Another thing was that because Feshan had his exams, they wanted me to cover things up. Initially, in terms of the advantage, yes, I did know a bit about what Muslims believe in terms of how they, how they don't like interest, and a bit about the Sharia law, but not to the great extent of how some Muslim scholars know it. But I did have that little background knowledge, but then that's something that everyone can read upon and get. But initially, the initial advantage I did have in terms of that, yeah.
Imesh takes on the lead for Synergy by going into the mosque to meet the priests and ask them further information about the Sharia law.
Get a basic idea about how they think about interest and the background information, like how the religion justifies the interest. But unfortunately, I couldn't find any Sinhala speaking or English speaking Maulavis inside because two of them were on leave and the one who was there was speaking only Tamil. So I spoke to some other people who were inside the mosque and got some basic information.
While Selina and Abigail work at the hotel, Imesh tries his luck at the Department of Muslim Religious and Cultural Affairs to find out more information.
Director was not available inside, and I spoke to the deputy director of this Muslim Affairs department, but he was not initially willing to divulge in any information without the permission of the director. But I used my PR skills and I made friends with him, and I could take all the information from him. So I think we gathered some valuable information from the Muslim Affairs department here. Fits or interest to a common good, like putting up a bus stand or putting up a school, public school. So it will be considered as a good thing from the religion itself.
Yeah,
so
that's what Sharia does. That's what Sharia does.
I asked what benefits would you like to see when you put your money in the banks, but they said no difference. Interest is prohibited, not at all. Like they are not willing to take any interest. But there's no return for the individuals. The people who say they are not even.
There's no financial return, but there's gratification.
Yeah.
So basically, we could do a load of things, but he said not to do those kind of things, hasn't he? I mean, we could set up a charity or whatever, but he said the bank doesn't have time to do that.
And I asked whether they. Actually, I spoke to Mr. Pul, and he said the call is a checker for all this coordination stuff.
Yeah. Maybe you should just try and clarify.
Yeah.
It's the one at the bottom.
I was a leader in our team, and I acted as a participative leader because there were only 3 members in the team, so we needed everyone's contribution in this particular activity. And there were some restrictions because we had to deal with the Muslim people. So actually I had to play the role of a Sri Lankan as well, because there were some Muslim people I found in several places we went who didn't speak in English. So I had to converse them with in Sinhala and get their ideas across. So and also there were ideas coming from all three members. I had to properly screen them and I had to put them together in order to come up with the final output.
What are your feelings about
Meanwhile, Peter and Munaza visit a common Muslim businessman and question him on how he handles his investments.
How do you feel about that? Do you like it?
Sorry?
Do you like that? Do you welcome the interest, or would you rather not have it?
දැන් කියමු monthly එකට 50,000 ආවයි කියලා අපි මම interest ගෙවනවා කියලා. මට මේකේ හම්බ වෙන්නේ 30,000. එතකොට 20,000 මගේ extra මම ගෙවන්නේ interest එක.
ඒක අමතරව වෙන interest එකක් දෙන්නේ නැතුව වෙන මාර්ග තියනවාද මේ බැංක් වල කරන්න පුළුවන්.
ඒකට අපිට risk එක ගන්න පොඩ බයෙන් තමයි ගන්න business එකට. safety එක බැංකුවට දාන්න පුළුවන් interest නැතුව වෙනම අපිට profit margin නේද දෙනවා නම් අපි ගොඩාක් කැමති ඒකට.
මොන හරි profit sharing
ඔව් කරනවා ඒක ගොඩාක් කැමති 100%.
He prefers profit sharing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, he was quite a strict Muslim,
Very.
and he said that any sort of proper practicing, you know, like sort of strict Muslim would say.
Like he's like, I have done that, but you know he's with Sampath Bank because he has that loyalty because he's been there with them for 20 years. So you know the bond is there.
I think.
But the director's phone is off.
Yeah,
Deputy director is not out.
you've got the same number, maybe you should call this number and see if he answers.
British Council. We need some information with regard to any other branches in your province where you have something back.
Abi moving into the other group may have affected our group, but there would not have had been a brain drain, sort of.
We have to find out what is the actual requirement of Muslims. I think we have it now, right? Like they don't want any other income.
Yeah.
They just don't want interest. And secondly, I think there's a bit of part that we have missed. What is the competition doing in Muslim areas? Like private banks and public banks. Maybe I can call my mom. And get some
That's what.
information.
Yeah. Especially what are they doing there already? Because if they're already buying farming farming things.
Yeah. Hello. මට මේ ආයිමත් අර අන්තරේ කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් කරනවද මාව? යගේ නම මොකද? බිෂ්වේ නේ? හරි. Right, okay.
This bank doesn't really offer anything for
Children?
for
Muslims.
No. But these are competitors then. These two are our main ones.
It's HMB and Commercial Bank. Those are our two
They are
main.
the two main private companies. Shall we search it whether they have Muslim bank?
I actually wanted to be team leader for this task. I was quite keen to be team leader, but it was kind of agreed that because the task involved a lot of speaking of Sinhalese and communicating with local people, we decided it would be best for Imesh to be team leader. But if I continue, I will definitely be stepping up to be team leader very soon.